Hi, my name is Spencer, and today I'll be reacting to Star Trek Starfleet Academy Season 1, Episode 10. Just so you guys know, I am recording this the day that the episode releases, and I can assure you that I have not seen any spoilers, not even any preview images this time. I mean, all I really know is what we saw in the last episode leading into this. I guess my hopes for this episode are that we get to see all of our main cast at least once, including Lura, who we haven't seen in several episodes now, at least not that I can recall. Another thing that's sort of on my wish list would be to see Raimi's Khionian form again, which isn't to say that I loved the way that it looked in the first episode, but it feels like a waste of it, just because, I don't know, it feels like they've made such a huge point of being like, oh, he's Khionian, so he's got this aspect about him, you know, whether that's the glitter vomit or the intolerance of bananas and or alcohol. It would just be nice for them to actually use that again and for it not to be just like a one-time thing. Would have been nice if they had found a way to use it sometime during the season, but I'd be happy to see it at least one more time before the end of the season. If not, they better use it next season, or what was the point, you know? Yeah, I mean, expect Nusbraka. One thing that did cross my mind since watching the last episode yesterday is there's no way for any ship in or out of this barrier of Omega-47 mines, but it makes me wonder if Discovery could get through, which could open up an opportunity for there to be a Discovery cameo here, which I wouldn't hate, as long as they let the Academy, the Athena and its crew and the cadets be the main focus, which I would expect that to be the case because this is their show. But if Discovery could jump out of the mines to be able to make contact with the Athena and relay a message back and forth. I mean, it probably wouldn't be the most convenient thing to jump back and forth such short distances, but I mean, if that's the only way of communicating, then why not? But it also wouldn't surprise me if they explain or have some explanation that Discovery also can't get through the mines. But yeah, I mean, I expect, I guess the end of the episode is going to be just like, oh, like we are finally done with this year. Like, because I mean, that's where we started in the last episode. Like, this is the last day of the semester of the academic year. We'll see them, I guess, sort of say goodbye to one another and get sort of a see you next year. But as for, I guess, the fate of Braca and Caleb's mom, I really don't know. I feel like the best case, at least in terms of Federation standards, like in keeping with the hopefulness of Star Trek, is that Braca would be taken prisoner and be put in sort of maximum security based on his previous ability to escape. That way it's possible for us to see him again, because I would hate to say goodbye to Paul Giamatti. I've really enjoyed him this season, and I feel like we haven't seen enough of him. That being said, I have enjoyed the episodic nature of these episodes. So it's more a complaint of a lack of volume of episodes, you know. As for Caleb's mom, I mean, I hope she lives. I hope she gets to have a life where she can stay in contact with Caleb and be a part of his life. I mean, I would love that for both of them, but it's quite possible that she doesn't make it or sacrifices herself or something. I don't know. I really have no idea. But anyways, enough with the rambling and speculation. I'm excited to get into this, but before I do, don't forget to like this video if you like it, and if you have anything to say about this episode or the previous episodes, please put it in the comments. Also, if you're not currently subscribed but you like this kind of content, I would appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. I know this is the end of the season, but I do plan on continuing when the next season airs, along with other Star Trek content that may come out, which I believe the only thing other than this is Strange New Worlds at the moment, but I do plan on uploading content for that, so please stick around. Anyways, I don't believe I have anything else to say before just diving into this episode, so I think I'll go ahead and do that. Flashback? Yeah, okay. I mean, I don't know what that yelling was, but yeah, PTSD, man. It's all coming back.
What's gonna happen to my son?
He'll become a ward of the...
It is kind of nice to get a recap of this scene.
We have a situation.
No! No! No.
Yeah, valid reaction.
But right now, it's only a matter of time before Nusbraka finds us and shoots us out of the sky.
Common enemy. Well, I mean, I don't know.
The Athena the only Starfleet vessel outside this thing?
You are. Our analytics confirm that the warning...
Okay, we do get to see Laura. And at least the glitching holograms make sense here because they are struggling to get through this interference.
What about Discovery? Can they jump the perimeter through the mycelial network?
Yeah.
No, the fields are synchronized in a subspace frequency. A jump might trigger a detonation.
Okay, well, at least they explained it. That was my question, so they answered it. I appreciate it.
Braca isn't stupid. If that signal controls his operation, it's going to be rigged with a failsafe. Any interference in the entire wall could blow.
True. At least she's volunteering information here. That's, I guess, progress.
Gather up all the cadets and hide them in airlock B.
Okay, well, glad they're using it.
So I might distract him for a couple of minutes.
Cadet Mir, you're with Reno.
Yeah, well, it seems like she understands that the situation is desperate enough that she should work with them.
If anything happens to my son, I'm going to kill you.
If anything happens to your son, you'll be doing me a favor.
Fair enough. Nice. I'm sure Caleb doesn't. I was like, does Caleb understand that? I'm sure he does. Just because he's seen some shit, you know? He's probably learned some Klingon. Woof. God damn.
Make that plasma leak worse.
We don't normally do that, but okay.
What?
Can it be my two best gals? Like Lazarus, but shorter, and a girl.
That's funny.
Is this like an enemy of my enemy thing?
Kinda, at this point.
Hey, I just coined that. That's funny. Somebody write that down.
He definitely has, like, Tellarite mannerisms based on what little knowledge I have of Tellarites, you know?
Ship's clear. There's no one here.
Okay, well,
You two may be very useful today.
how so?
Leap clear of all that is corporeal and make yourself greater.
Huh. I don't understand that message.
Get us out of here!
I don't know.
Gently. I've had it for almost 1,000.
Hey! Hell yeah. Damn, they're really just going all in. Did it basically mobile emitter the whole Athena and make it seem like it blew up, but it's not that it's not? Yeah. It's like a hologram. Huh. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Glad I was able to put that together.
Where's my mother?
Braca took her, and the captain.
Well, your two mother figures.
Reuben will tango parrot choose to the mango patch.
He's not quite all there.
Come with me. Find the shoe.
Commander, where do you...
Well, I'm kind of glad that there's still some room for holographic malfunctions / hijinks, even if this is not really hijinks here.
If he blows those minds, it's the end of the Federation. We're talking about two very important lives. Trillions.
All right.
I mean, if you save everyone, that includes your mom. It's not like you're forsaking her to death. I mean, you don't know that that's what would happen to her.
Look sharp in case anything approaches our position.
It must have been fun for, gosh, I can't think of the name. Jet Reno, the actress. For her to, Tignataro, for her to have more to do here than what she had in Discovery. At least in this episode.
Aye, Commander.
Aye, Captain.
Not a captain.
Fine.
Acting captain.
Tighter than every single self-righteous Starfleet sphincter when they realize I took their favorite toy.
He's so dumb. Break, burn, something.
Put your arms around me.
She's like, I really don't want to. Break, something burn. I forgot that first word again. Break, burn, build. Liberation.
We waited hours to see them. We killed time just playing tic-tac-toe in the dirt.
Is that why he has a tic-tac-toe on his head?
They never stop us.
Tyrant-in-Chief Vance. Federation oppression has been cut off.
They rained red hellfire down on us. My family didn't survive.
It is nice to hear his point of view and where he's coming from. Finally, you know.
The burn can never happen again, but it can. In fact, they've developed...
Hailed as hero as he holds the Federation on trial for crimes against the galaxy.
Anyone who yearns for transparency, for truth, is welcome in my tent.
I know him well. He's pure evil, I think that's what it said about Vance.
No better proxy for us than Anisha Ake, who lost a child at their hands. She alone will decide.
Well, she has a choice here. It's either trusting... I mean, you'd be putting trust in, like, for her, and from her point of view, it's trusted some bad people either way, because she does not trust the Federation still. But Braca? Nah. She don't trust him either.
You okay? Tarima, are you okay?
Is it
broken?
Warning, I'm fine.
What's going on with it, then? I thought she was supposed to have more control over it.
This is what it's like to be alone in space with no hope of rescue on a broken ship. You can let your fear take you down, or you can identify...
Okay, yeah, that does sound familiar for Reno, from what I remember from her introduction to Discovery.
Keep at it. What's next?
We only have 10% power to...
Okay, are we gonna get to see what's going on with the Doctor and Sam? I assume so, at some point.
The con is yours, Cadet Life. Don't screw it up.
Easier said than done. Hey, you're in the chair now.
Wait. I think I have to pee.
Isn't there like a built-in toilet in the captain's chair?
They would have kept you in the dark forever. I'm what you call a liberator, Chancellor.
Liberate.
You wouldn't even be having this trial if Ake had been on the other side of the barrier in the first place. What would have been your plan then?
Told him I'd helped him find his mother.
No pressure there.
Well,
separated him from her in the first place, am I right?
Under orders. Wasn't her personally.
Anisha Ake, come on down.
Well, not like she has much choice but to come down and testify. I think that's what he's wanting her to do. Or maybe he wants her to question Ake.
I shouldn't be helping anybody. I'm shit at it.
You never learned how. Cue the violins.
I'm gonna mess it up again. I'm gonna act like an arrogant little shit.
I have absolutely no doubt about that. Pressure?
0.86. Right where it's supposed to be.
Nice. I like that interaction.
You have the galaxy's attention.
Okay, so she is questioning her. Or at least that's what Braca wants her to do.
That is the only way I get justice. The only way I get to dance on your grave.
Yeah. I mean...
I'm calling a recess.
It's hard to argue with that. I mean, must feel good to at least get that off your chest. I still don't know if he is... I still don't know if Anisha is going to help Ake, but...
Before I left for Cask, you were the hero. And I was always just following you around like a puppy.
Kinda, yeah. I don't know. I kind of wish we had seen a little more of that relationship building. And, I mean, it's not like we didn't, but still, I don't know. This, along with other new Star Trek shows, would benefit from more episodes, is what I'm trying to say.
Don't cross the Rubincon with glue.
Rubincon. Title of the episode.
I think he is trying to tell us how to stabilize Omega 47 permanently.
So then it can't explode? But how did the Doctor come up with this?
Concentration 67.969%. Stability failure. Rubin particle concentration.
Can you work a little faster instead of having to name every percentage?
100%. Stability achieved.
Okay.
Sam, get working on that algorithm.
And
Okay.
All right, everyone back to your stations. Let's work on finding an answer.
All right. I do appreciate and enjoy seeing them all contribute to this somehow, you know?
Do you trust me? I trust you. Please trust me.
What? Is he gonna connect with her mind? Okay, alright. I guess breaking that barrier, finally.
Stop me if I say something stupid.
Stop.
Your whole life.
Meanwhile, in reality, he's like, what if he was like actually like speaking out loud? That would be so funny. So much for privacy.
Can you find her again? Through me? And lead us to her?
How does that work?
Are you letting me?
I am.
Consent. Now, how much real time passed in this moment?
Tarima's gonna use my connection to my mother to find her. And if we can find her, we'll find Noose. We've got this.
I know she's like a special Betazoid, so not all Betazoids could do this, but it's still, I'm like, I don't know, I find it fascinating that it's even a possibility. Oh, so it's like surface level this time? Because last time when she pulled it out, there was like something that came out of her, you know? I will say I don't hate it though, like this ability that she has to connect with people.
As far as final exams go, this one is a doozy. If you pass, we live. If you fail, we're all dead.
No problem.
Yeah. Ooh, that was a beautiful shot. Just the clouds and the... Oh, lovely.
Wait, there's something else coming from there too. It's broadcasting on all available...
Oh, yeah.
You made it possible for Noose Baraka to board a Federation
It
ship.
was a supply ship. We had no food.
I know.
What further context will we get?
He pulled his weapon. I had to fire back. Self-defense.
Could you have stopped him? I don't know.
What is the point of this questioning?
I'll never be free of it. That's the grave I cannot escape. You're already dancing on it, Anisha.
Yeah, well, is that good enough?
Anisha Ake is guilty.
Yeah.
You heard?
Well, do you feel good about yourself now? Delivering the verdict just like she did to you?
Guilty! Guilty!
Okay, now what? Sentenced to death?
There's an incoming shuttle. One occupant requesting asylum, signaling Caleb Mir.
Oh. Huh. What's his plan? Is he, like, distracting them to give them more time?
The shuttle just docked. Stabilization.
Okay, so they know about it. It's not like he went rogue.
Caleb will buy some time to eat.
Okay, he is buying time.
This is an algorithm, not a pineapple cake. It takes time.
Well, hopefully Caleb gives you enough.
The Academy kept pushing me until for the first time in my life I realized I have something to offer. I never knew that before.
I do appreciate the monologue advocating for the Federation and its values.
I kept trying to push them away, to just not care, but they wouldn't let me. You know why? They all live for something bigger than themselves.
He says, oh, okay, this oopy-goopy bullshit.
I can be a part of this world without forgetting where I come from, without forgetting you.
He's been brainwashed.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's brainwashing!
Yeah.
Because if strontium hits anything volatile, it explodes.
Like, say, a buildup of toxic oxides in an atmosphere.
So did they blow themselves up and blame the Federation?
That's a lie.
I mean, I can believe that he believed it.
Lies and propaganda!
No, it's science. You were...
Well, anyone that knows science would be able to be like, yeah, you know, she is right.
An angry child with his finger on the trigger whose entire worldview is based on a lie.
Well, now I'm a little worried what he's gonna do, how he's gonna react to this.
Stabilization at 82%.
Getting close.
This is how it ends!
Well, if he's gonna go down, he's gonna go down kicking and screaming. We just have to distract him for a couple more minutes.
Minefield deactivated.
Yep. Nice.
What?
It's the Federation.
What?
Yeah, there you go. We get to see Discovery? Come on, jump in. Nope. Guess not. Nice.
Well, hold on to how much you hate me, little fish. It'll help keep you warm at night.
Well, full circle. Nice.
You call that a punch?
Did you lose a tooth from that?
You too, Nala Ake! Off!
I love that they both got one in. That's so funny. Well, I would assume that her trusting the Federation is not totally there yet. That would have been too quick and too simple. But this is fiction, so I guess it doesn't have to be realistic.
Please just have like 50 hours of menial labor instead?
No. You and the others will be present in full dress uniforms and...
Oh, okay. I was like, are they being punished? That's so funny. Still keeping her distance, it seems. So, it seems like she's at least warmed up to Ake.
Well, you'll always know where to find me, Mom.
I know.
This is where you say, you'll always know where to find me too, Caleb. You're not going to have to search for me ever again. Wouldn't that be nice to have that assurance?
You find yourself looking back at the beginning. All I ever wanted was to find my mom.
If this is how it ends without any sort of setup for next season, beyond a year or two of the Academy, I'd be okay with that. I don't need a big cliffhanger, you know?
A change like that, it's not easy. You have to
I love them. I've seen some cute fan art of Lura and Reno.
This is my first cadet's log entry.
Nice. Nice. That's cool. That's fun. You get to see them as kids. Cute. She looks the same. Nice. I think that's probably it. Hell yeah. I really enjoyed that. Solid conclusion to I guess what we've had, or what we set up through the whole season, and a conclusion to last episode, of course. I'm glad it didn't really... The only thing that felt, I guess, sort of quick and easy to me was, like, how did the Doctor figure out how to stabilize the Omega particle? I guess an argument could be made that, like, maybe he has the record of when Voyager encountered the Omega particle, and it was stabilizing before they shut it down in that episode. So, maybe... But if that were the case, then Starfleet would have stabilized it long ago, you know? Speaking of which, now that it's stabilized, they should be able to use it for what they wanted to use it for, right? As a power source. That should be good, I guess, for the Federation. I don't know. I hope that will come back, or will be mentioned and talked about potentially in the next season. The use of the Omega particle. Or Omega 47, that is. I will say, seems like the only thing that didn't happen that I kind of hoped would happen was seeing Darum in his Khionian form. It does really suck that we only saw it in the first episode, just because, like, it feels wasted. You establish that he has this ability, this alternate form, just for you never to use it. And sure, that establishes his people as this unique new thing that we've never seen in Star Trek, but then you reduce him to looking human for the whole season. So it's like, okay. I guess I kind of wish that the form that we see all the time was more alien looking. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, super drastic, but, like, I don't know, give him, like, a tinge of blue, because that's the color he was, or, I don't know, have some aspect of his Khionian form shine through the human form. I don't know. I just feel like that's a missed opportunity. Or just budget constraints or laziness, not wanting to put the actor through the makeup. But I mean, you're already putting other characters through a ton of makeup, so I don't know. But I did enjoy, I enjoyed seeing Caleb, like, his first instinct to want to go save his mom and Ake, but fighting that urge, I guess, and listening to his classmates, but also Reno. I really enjoyed that scene between him and Reno in the, I guess, in engineering. I did appreciate that they used the whole extra pressure in that one, I guess, cargo bay. I don't remember what it was, but to hide their life signs. I thought that was nice, although I kind of wish that that had been established earlier in the season, so then it would have been like, okay, we see this through line from earlier in the season, not just from last episode, which was clearly a part 1 for this part 2. But nonetheless, I appreciate that they used that it wasn't just a one-time thing for last episode to get Jaden and Tarima on the Athena, you know? Speaking of, I guess, callbacks, I did appreciate seeing the mobile emitter. It's been a while. I mean, I guess not really for me because I've seen some episodes of Voyager recently, but in universe, it's been a while. And seeing it play a part, and I guess I didn't quite catch the exposition from Reno there, but I think she said something about like the Doctor using his matrix, at least partially, to mask the ship, and then that affecting his ability to communicate, which I wish there'd been a little more explanation for that, or getting to see him, I guess, resolve that beyond them figuring out what he was trying to say, you know? It did seem like Anisha was more friendly toward Ake and Starfleet toward the end there. But I do appreciate that she said to Caleb at the end, like, you know, like, there's a part of me that wishes you wouldn't want to come back, but I know that you would want to come back. So there is still some, I guess, animosity toward Starfleet and the Federation for her, which totally understandable. Glad that that's not something that she could just get over based on this one interaction, however dramatic it was with Braca. I'm glad that she is warming up, but she's not like totally on board with the Federation, you know? Speaking of Braca though, it seems that, at least I guess also with Caleb's mom, my hopes for that were fulfilled. It seems like Braca has been taken into custody, and Caleb's mom is, I guess, free to do whatever and live her life. She survived. Yeah, I mean, I was at one point worried that Braca, like, at the end was going to lash out and be like, no, and, like, grab a gun or something and shoot either Ake or Anisha. But, I mean, thankfully that wasn't the case. And Caleb bought them enough time to stabilize the particles, the mines, so that when Braca did want to activate them, they were not active anymore, disabled. But yeah, I'm glad that Braca is in custody, I guess. I guess that leaves the possibility for us to see him again, although I have to assume that the next season is going to be a totally different story. Maybe not even focused on Caleb. It could be focused on another one of our cadets, which I wouldn't mind. I feel like we did get a good balance this season of stories for each of our cadets, each of the main characters, even some significant story with the Doctor. So I appreciate that, and I hope that continues. I assume that has continued because, I mean, it's not like they really had time to get feedback for season 1 before filming season 2, because they just finished season 2 before season 1 even finished airing. But still, I have to believe that they are going to keep this format for season 2, and I am really looking forward to seeing what kind of stories they tell. But overall, I really enjoyed this first season. I will say I still have a couple of gripes, one being Jaden's voice still. I mean, I am mostly over it. Like, I'm not going to point it out every time it bothers me. And most of the time, after the first few episodes, I was more engrossed in the story to where it wasn't a big concern. But every once in a while, it would pop up in my mind. And I was like, I still don't love it. I can't get over that choice, you know? And, like, absolutely no hate toward the actor. It's my understanding that it was his choice to do that voice. But I feel like you could have just done gravelly. You didn't have to do unrealistically low. And I've said it, and I will say it again. And I've heard the actor's, like, real voice recently. And so I'm like, okay, well, he really has to, like, get his voice really low and then pump up the volume. Like, he's not pumping up the volume, you know, but they have to pump up the volume in post in order to make it audible, you know. But also, I feel like, and maybe that's just him trying to be Klingon, but it also kind of feels like, at least with me attempting to get my voice that low, that it kind of stiffens the performance. I don't know, like, I can be more expressive when I'm not in that range with my body movements, and I don't know. But I do understand that that's also, like, part of the character is that he is sort of reserved. He's not like this super out there kind of character, loud and I don't know, but still, that is something that has continued to bother me, and probably will continue to bother me. But it doesn't take away from the fact that I've enjoyed this show so far. Another gripe I had this season was with Tawny Newsome casting herself as Dax. God, like that, I don't know. And it's quite possible that she wasn't like, I'll do it. That they were like, hey, could you do this? And she was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. But still, it rubs me the wrong way. And I've tried to explain it to other people in comments and on Reddit and on TikTok why it bothers me. But like, it feels very self-inserty, you know? Like you're inserting yourself as this beloved character. And I don't know. Like if she weren't a co-producer and a writer for that episode, then I may have had less of a problem with it. I mean, it probably still would have bothered me that it was Tawny Newsome because she had already been in Star Trek before. But as it was pointed out to me on TikTok, that's not totally uncommon in Star Trek. I mean, Rene Auberjonois appeared in Enterprise as a one-off civilian character in an episode. But that situation's different because he wasn't like a co-producer or a writer on Enterprise. He wasn't like putting himself in that position. I'm sure he auditioned and got the role just like anyone else, or potentially the people involved in the production were like, hey, like we would really like Renee for this role. But he wasn't in like that position of power to be able to say like, oh, like put me here in this role, like give me this role, you know? And that may not have been how it happened with this whole Dax situation, but it kind of feels like that is how it happened, and it irks me, you know? So that's one thing I can't necessarily abide. And I do appreciate what she did for the episode, like getting Sirach and getting Avery's blessing for the episode. And I did see some like behind the scenes, like a phone call that they had with Avery, where Carice, I believe that's her name, Sam, was on the phone with him and just being like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And that gave me goosebumps. I love that they got Avery involved and they got his permission to use his voice at the end of the episode. And like, I love the care that Tawny Newsome put into the episode, but it doesn't negate the ick that I get for her being in the episode herself, you know? Maybe that's just me. I say that with a love and enjoyment for this show, what we've seen so far. I'm not saying that to be a hater, because I'm sure that some other people, I'm pretty sure I've seen some just negative people who are just negative about the show for the sake of being negative, having a similar perspective about that casting. I say that being a fan of the show, that casting was meh, not my favorite thing. But beyond that, beyond Jaden's voice and Tawny Newsome in that role, there wasn't really much else that bothered me about the season. I mean, there were definitely some episodes that I didn't feel as engaged in, I guess. The one with Ramey's wedding, that one I wasn't like super engaged with. But again, I didn't hate it. And then there were like a couple of, I guess, moments or acting moments where it was just like, okay, that seemed a little cheesy. But I mean, I'm willing to forgive because Star Trek has always had some bit of cheese in it. Even in Deep Space Nine, my favorite show, when I was rewatching it in the past couple of years, there were definitely moments I was like, man, this is like kind of cheesy. Like some like little moments from the actors where I was like, that was kind of cheesy, you know? But sometimes it's not even the actor's fault. It's like the writers wrote that for them. And, you know, anyways, overall, I really loved this season. Really enjoyed this show. Really looking forward to seeing what happens in season 2, what that story is going to be. I would love if they got renewed for season 3, but again, like I said in the last video, I'm not going to hold my breath, but I would be pleasantly surprised and happy to get more than just 2 seasons. I certainly wouldn't complain to seeing more Discovery cameos. Just anyone, really. Like, I think they could pull anyone. Even some of the bridge crew that we didn't get to know as well as like the main cast of the show, you know. It'd just be great to see some familiar faces. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else to say about this season specifically without summarizing the thoughts that I've already expressed in my previous videos. So if you'd like to hear those, you're welcome to go back and check those out. But let me know what you guys thought about this season. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. How did you feel about how things ended? I thought it was a good ending, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't like set up some big cliffhanger for us to resolve in the next season. But we're also, I guess we're also of the mindset that we are definitely getting the next season anyway. So it's not like we have to worry about this being the end and being like, oh, like yeah, they ended it pretty well, so we don't need more. Like we can live without more, you know. But you never know, they could pull a Prodigy and cancel before season 2 is out, which would really suck. But it's Paramount. I mean, it's really hard to predict what they're gonna do, especially now with the whole merger that they're in the process of or doing or have done. I don't know if it's done. I don't keep up that much with it, but you know what I mean. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this season. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Glad that we are getting a season 2. Really looking forward to it, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.